Right now, as you are watching this, 65% of Plymouth is about to be drenched. Aberdeen has not seen a single hour of sunshine in 14 days. And the Met Office has just issued yellow warnings across half the country. But here is the question nobody is asking. When exactly does this storm peak in your area? And more importantly, when does it finally stop? Stay with me for the next few minutes because I am going to break down the exact timing for every major city in the United Kingdom. And if you stick around until the 5-minute mark, I will reveal why Thursday could change everything, and I mean everything, about this winter weather pattern. But first, let me tell you something that genuinely shocked me when I was putting this together. Since the 1st of January 2026, the southwest of England and South Wales have had rain every single day. Not most days. Every single day. January rainfall was 50% above average, making it the 12th wettest January on record. Now hold that thought, because what is causing this is even more alarming, and I will get to it in just a moment. Drop a comment right now with the name of your city or town. I want to know where you are watching from tonight so I can make sure future forecasts cover your area in detail. Seriously, comment below. It helps me help you. Now let me explain why this rain simply will not stop. There is a culprit, and it is flying several miles above your head right now. The jet stream, that enormous ribbon of fast-moving air high in the atmosphere, has shifted unusually far south this winter. When it does that, it acts like a conveyor belt, firing one low-pressure system after another directly at the United Kingdom. But it gets worse. A massive block of high pressure sitting over Scandinavia is trapping these weather systems over Britain. Meteorologists call it a blocked pattern, and it means the rain-bearing fronts cannot clear through. They just stall, sit on top of us, and dump water hour after hour. That is exactly what is happening tonight across the entire country. So let us get into the specifics, city by city, region by region. Here is your timing guide for this evening and the days ahead. London and the southeast. Right now, 7 degrees Celsius in the capital. Cloud cover is total, horizon to horizon. The chance of rain this evening sits at 40%, but here is what caught my eye. According to climate data, the 10th of February is actually the single wettest day on average in the entire month of February for London, with a mean rainfall of 3.66 millimeters. So statistically, tonight was always going to be wet. But the real danger is not the rain falling tonight. It is the fact that the ground is completely waterlogged after weeks of non-stop downpours. Every new drop has nowhere to go. Surface water is making roads treacherous, especially around the M25 and through central London. If you are driving through Westminster or anywhere in the southeast tonight, slow down, keep your headlights on, and watch for standing water. The rain peaks between now and midnight, then eases slightly into the early hours, but does not stop entirely. Flood warnings remain active across London and the southeast. Brighton on the south coast is sitting at 7 to 8 degrees with a brisk wind off the channel. The wind chill makes it feel more like 3 or 4 degrees. If you are anywhere near that seafront tonight, wrap up properly. The shingle beaches are deserted for good reason. For those of you in Kent, Surrey, and Sussex, the picture is much the same. Overcast, damp, and thoroughly uninviting. The rain moves in waves, so you might get a dry 20 minutes here and there, but do not be fooled into leaving the umbrella behind. It will catch you out. Now, do not skip ahead, because here comes the region that needs your attention the most tonight, the southwest. This is the worst hit part of the entire country right now. Plymouth is at 9 degrees, which sounds mild, but that mildness comes at a cost. The probability of rain in Plymouth this evening is 65%, the highest of any major city in the United Kingdom. Heavy rain and strong winds are driving straight into coastlines that were already battered by Storm Chandra at the end of January and Storm Goretti before that. The Met Office yellow warning covers the whole of Devon and Cornwall. The rain peaks in Plymouth between 7 and 11 tonight, then slowly begins to ease after midnight, but it does not clear fully until Wednesday morning. Bristol is at 8 to 9 degrees, thoroughly overcast, with rain spreading in steadily. In a normal February, Bristol sees about 8.6 rainy days, with roughly 16 millimeters total. This year has blown past those numbers weeks ago. The flooding risk is real and ongoing. Bournemouth has already seen serious flooding at Iford Bridge Home Park. Tonight, more rain falls on ground that is completely saturated. Even light rainfall here could cause problems. Bath, Exeter, the Somerset levels, they are all in the same situation. The ground simply cannot absorb another drop. If you are in the southwest tonight, please check the Environment Agency flood warnings before you go anywhere. The Midlands. Birmingham, the second city, sits at 6 to 7 degrees this evening. Cloud cover is total. Rain chance is 40%. The rain is moving in from the west, so if you are in the eastern Midlands right now, you might still have a dry window, but it is closing fast. Expect the rain to arrive in Birmingham between 7 and 9 this evening, continuing through the night. Coventry is at 8 degrees. Wolverhampton and Stoke-on-Trent slightly cooler at 7. Worcester and Hereford, closer to the Welsh border, are milder at 9 degrees, but wetter because they are closer to those rain-bearing fronts. Oxford and Cambridge, both at 9 degrees with lighter winds than the coast. Norwich in East Anglia is the driest spot in England tonight, furthest from the Atlantic influence, though it is still cloudy and grey. Norwich typically sees daytime temperatures of around 9 degrees in February, dropping to 4 overnight. If you live in East Anglia, count yourselves relatively fortunate tonight. You are getting the least of it, though that is a very low bar. Lichfield, Shrewsbury and Solihull are all reporting 8 degrees with cloudy skies and the constant threat of more rain. The pattern is the same right across the Midlands. Grey, damp and uninspiring. Here is something important I promised you earlier, so do not miss the next part. The north, Newcastle upon Tyne is at 8 degrees with a biting wind off the North Sea. The feels like temperature is significantly lower than what the thermometer reads. Sheffield is at 9 degrees, Leeds at 8. York, that beautiful ancient city, is seeing drizzle and light rain throughout the evening. If you are visiting York tonight, you absolutely need a waterproof jacket. But here is the twist for the northeast. While tonight stays snow-free, the Met Office is warning that by Thursday, snow will fall on the Pennines. The cold is coming, and it is coming fast. Manchester in the northwest is at 6 to 7 degrees, entirely overcast with a 35% rain chance. Liverpool is similar but windier thanks to its coastal position. A southeasterly breeze is pulling moisture off the Irish Sea and pushing it straight through the city. Both Manchester and Liverpool will see rain on and off through the night, heaviest between 8 and midnight. Wales. Cardiff is at 8 degrees with a yellow weather warning in effect. Rain is heaviest in the southern counties. Swansea is getting hit harder with stronger winds off the coast. But the real concern is Snowdonia and the North Wales uplands. Mist, low cloud, near constant rain, and cold winds across every ridge and summit. If you had any plans for hill walking in the Welsh mountains, cancel them. Tonight is absolutely not the night. The flood risk across Wales is significantly elevated. Weeks of relentless rain have left the ground desperately waterlogged. The Met Office warns that further heavy and prolonged rain could cause additional flooding in places already struggling. Scotland. Now we cross the border and the temperature drops noticeably. Edinburgh is at 5 degrees, a good 2 degrees colder than London. Rain chance is 35%, but here is the key detail. Edinburgh is entering a phase of more persistent rainfall tonight, with strengthening southeasterly winds that will push the feels like temperature down to just 2 or 3 degrees. The rain builds through the evening, peaks around 10 to midnight, and continues into Wednesday. Glasgow is even a fraction colder, hovering around 5 degrees, with a high today of only 6. Normally, Glasgow bears the brunt of Atlantic storms, but tonight, with the wind coming from the southeast, Edinburgh is actually getting it worse. Aberdeen. This is the city I need you to pay attention to. The Met Office has issued a specific yellow warning for Aberdeen and eastern Scotland. Rainfall totals of 15 to 30 millimetres are expected across a wide area, with 40 to 60 millimetres possible over higher ground. And here is the detail that really matters. Aberdeen has just endured 14 consecutive days without a single hour of sunshine. That is the longest such spell since records began in 1957. The ground is utterly saturated. Any additional rain, and we are talking about a lot of additional rain tonight, could cause significant flooding and disruption. And by the end of Tuesday, some snow may affect the highest roads in Aberdeenshire. That is the first signal that much colder air is on its way. The Highlands are even more severe. Cloud bases sitting between 400 and 600 metres, near zero visibility on the summits. Rain at lower levels turning to snow above roughly 700 metres. This is emphatically not a night for anyone to be on the hills. Mountain rescue teams across the Highlands would echo that message in the strongest possible terms. Even experienced hill walkers should stay well away tonight. The conditions are genuinely dangerous, with wet rock, zero visibility, and rapidly changing temperatures at altitude. February in Scotland is always unforgiving. Average temperatures in Edinburgh range from just 1 to 7 degrees. Glasgow typically sees about 3.9 days of snow in February alone, with accumulations up to 49 millimetres. Edinburgh averages about 2.8 days of snowfall. Tonight, the lowland cities stay snow-free, but that chapter opens very dramatically from Thursday. Northern Ireland. Belfast is at 6 to 7 degrees beneath thick, unbroken cloud. Rain chance is 40%. The morning started relatively dry with some brief sunshine, but by afternoon, cloud and rain had taken over completely with freshening easterly winds. Remember, Storm Chandra brought gusts of 60 to 75 miles per hour to eastern Northern Ireland just a couple of weeks ago. Tonight is not nearly that severe, but the ground is still saturated from that battering, rivers are running high, and any additional rainfall could push them over their banks. The rain in Belfast peaks this evening and continues through Wednesday before clearing Thursday. Southampton on the south coast is at 9 degrees with cloud and light rain. Moderate southeasterly winds. Nothing dramatic, but it adds to the mounting total on already soaked ground. Now, here is what I promised you at the 5-minute mark. Thursday changes everything. The Met Office analysis confirms that predominantly cyclonic patterns will continue dominating the United Kingdom's weather. But the early part of the coming period will see a significant shift. Colder conditions are going to become established much more widely, bringing snow primarily to the north and northeast. And here is the silver lining buried inside that cold snap. The shift to colder air should actually give the south a few days respite from the relentless wet weather. So if you are in London, Bristol, Cardiff, or anywhere in the southern half of the country, Thursday might actually bring you some relief from this endless rain, even if it comes with a sharp drop in temperature. From Thursday onward, temperatures are going to drop sharply across the entire United Kingdom. The mild, wet pattern breaks and a much colder airflow takes over. That means wintry showers, sleet, and snow, particularly across the north and east. The Pennines, the Scottish Highlands, Aberdeenshire, even parts of North Wales could see significant snowfall. Friday brings strong coastal winds. But then Saturday, and I want you to hear this clearly, Saturday may finally deliver a dry, cold, and sunny day for many parts of the country. After weeks and weeks of grey skies and relentless rain, that is genuinely something to look forward to. So here is your summary. Tonight, the southwest is the worst hit region. Plymouth at 65% rain probability, yellow warnings across Devon, Cornwall, Cardiff, London, the southeast, and eastern Scotland. Rain peaks between 7 and midnight across most of the country, then slowly eases into the early hours but does not stop. Wednesday brings more of the same. Thursday, the cold arrives with snow in the north. Friday, strong coastal winds. Saturday, finally, a chance of dry, bright weather. If you are heading out tonight, wear a proper waterproof coat. Take an umbrella. Drive slowly with your headlights on. Check the Environment Agency flood warnings, especially if you are in the southwest Wales or eastern Scotland. And honestly, if you do not need to be out, stay home. Put the kettle on. Let the rain do its worst on the other side of the window. Now, remember to drop your location in the comments. I read every single one, and it helps me tailor these forecasts to where you actually are. Whether you are in a village in Devon or a flat in Edinburgh, your comment makes a difference. If this was useful, make sure you are following so you do not miss the Thursday update, because that cold snap is going to be a completely different beast and you are going to want to know exactly when the snow hits your area. I will be covering every region, every city with the same level of detail. That is coming in the next video.